The new CR-V is offered with two different powertrains, one that's a carryover and the one we have today here at Ocean Honda with the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid two-wheel drive Sport, in which you can also option this as an all-wheel drive in radiant red metallic with a black interior. We have more power underneath this, less towing capacity. It's going to be longer and wider than the prior gen. In this series, I'm going to explain the difference between the turbo and the hybrid with a comparison with Toyota, Volkswagen, and Hyundai. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport gets a unique exterior. All the hybrids will have a beefier front and rear subframe, better sound cancellation with insulation in the crawl, firewall, behind the instrument panels, and in the stronger B-pillar with a thicker front windscreen. With your LED headlamps, gloss black on the larger grille. It has a similar look to a Mazda CX-50. On the lower, you'll get the gloss black for your air intakes, and you'll have the honeycomb in the matte black. A wider front track. Approach angle for the two-wheel drive is at 17.1 inches, for the all-wheel drive at 17.7 inches. What I like about the hybrid is if you option the all-wheel drive, you increase your ground clearance to over 8 inches. It's still nowhere near Subaru because that's nearly 9 inches. However, it's going to be more than Toyota and the Hyundai. With a weight distribution of 59.8, 40.2, that's going to change when you get into all-wheel drive. 18-inch alloy wheels. The front disc reading at 12.3 inches, it's ventilated. The rear at 12.2 inches, it's solid. The front suspension is a McPherson strut. The rear multi-link double wishbone suspension, both with the stabilizer bar. The hybrid adds a fourth driving mode. Available real-time all-wheel drive with intelligent control system. Linked at 184.8 inches with the wheelbase at 106.3 inches, which is 2.7 inches longer and 2.5 inches longer for a wheelbase. It will be the same suspension setup, but you'll get larger brakes, LED vertical tail lights. Departure angle for the two-wheel drive is at 21.3 inches and the all-wheel drive is at 22.1 inches with dual exhaust outlets. Because this is the hybrid, we decrease towing to 1,000 pounds. If you option the turbo, 1,500 pounds. Going against the comparison of Toyota, Volkswagen, or Hyundai, Toyota is going to be the most, and then Subaru. Non-power tailgate to 39.3 cubic feet of storage. We have a 12 volt in the back with your LED interior lights, storage on both sides. Split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split, increasing cargo to 76.5 cubic feet. Increases cargo by nearly 2 inches from the prior gen. Because this is a hybrid, you're not going to be able to rivet up, but we'll start it so you can hear the exhaust. And with hybrid powertrains, that's what's going to happen. This is not something that you're going to put on the track anyways. This is your daily use vehicle to go to the grocery stores, odd and ends, and do everything you need. And they back the performance with a 2.0 liter direct injection inline 4-cylinder engine with a combined output of 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a CVT transmission, achieving 43 to 36 mpgs with the 0 to 60 under 8 seconds and a quarter mile just over 16 seconds. Now, what do these numbers mean? Well, it's not the fastest variant in the world. It's almost the same speed as the 1.5 turbo. It's going to be faster than Toyota, Volkswagen, and Hyundai. If you get a Mazda in the comparison, that one will be the fastest. You can add a turbocharge to it, and it will beat this one by about 2 seconds at 0 to 60. But again, you're not really looking to get those performance numbers. When you get into the hybrid, you're looking to get a better powertrain, in which that's what we're going to test. You will get less towing, but it's going to be more quiet in the interior. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the CR-V Hybrid, headroom starts at 38.2 inches. Legroom at 41.4 inches. Standard 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver. Orange stitching because this is the hybrid. 4-way manual adjustments. Heated front seats is also standard. Dashboard gets the hexagonal trim that's going to be inside for your air vents, with an aluminum look that's going to be brushed underneath it. On the top tier, it's going to be more flat. 7-inch standard touchscreen. We do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse and you have your reverse camera with trajectory. You can change the camera positions to make it easier for towing. Dual climate control setup is underneath it with 2 USB, an A and a C with a 12 volt, a large storage pocket right here that you can put nearly a tablet. Gear lever gets the leather with that orange contrast stitching, more matte black. 4 different driving modes because this is the hybrid. So you got sport, normal, eco, and snow. You have another area here that you can put your sunglasses or anything more or less that's small right next to your cup holders. It's going to be more sport derived, again with the contrast stitching. Go inside, it's a deep storage pocket with a 3-spoke leather wrap steering wheel, yet again orange stitching, multi-function. The gauge cluster has a digital reader on the left side that you can go through an array of information for the driver. The door panel configures into the dash. We do not have the 12-speaker upgraded Bose sound system that would be on the Touring Hybrid. We get that pattern structure here, soft for your elbows, yet again with the contrast stitching. 1 touch up and down for the front windows, and it's a pretty decent storage pocket with your CR-V badging. For the back seats, I'm at 38.2 inches of headroom, 41 inches of legroom, which is over ½ an inch more than the prior gen. The door panel gets the same materials as the front, so it's all everyday materials, soft for your elbows, not 1 touch up and down, a smaller storage pocket with 2 USB-C ports, your air vent, and storage only behind passenger side. You can also recline the seats, which it does go pretty decent back. Just, you have the 3rd passenger seat belt right on your headrest, which I don't like that. Sitting into the center, headroom is not an issue because it's actually carved out for you as long as you kind of sit back. Leg space, I have plenty of it as long as the passenger seat isn't folded back like it is right now. Feet, butt, and shoulder space, I will be sharing some, but it's a wider vehicle than the prior gen, so you have a lot of space back here for 3 adults at 6'3". 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque is the total output. 1.1 kilowatt lithium-ion battery. Here we go. I will say the sound deadening is a lot better in this opposed to your 1.5 turbo. The power doesn't necessarily throw you back. It's a shame because you have over 200 or nearly 250 pound-feet of torque, so it is quite a bit. You do add some weight, you do lose some cargo space, but it's a composed ride. The interior of this going against Toyota, Volkswagen, or Hyundai, it's going to be a more open. It feels so much more wide inside than the actual numbers project. Even though it is wider than the prior gen, you have loads of space, loads of areas for storage, and the visibility in the front has become better. You got good ground clearance, 7.8 inches. If you option the all-wheel drive, you'll go to 8.2 inches. Subaru is about 8.7. Now that's gonna take me to some things I like and dislike, and that's where we're gonna start right now. What I like about it, the new gen just really optimized interior space, whether it's headroom, legroom, or just all in general for the width of the vehicle, because it feels nearly like a third row vehicle. That's how long it is in the interior. The second thing that I like about it is when you get the hybrid trim, you actually get a vehicle that has been redone in the sense of it's a new motor, and they stiffen up the suspension. Turn radius and more or less a stop point is going to receive about 2 and a part lane. Let's rock and roll. The last thing that I like about it is the hybrid trim has the sound deadening to make it a lot more quiet for a long journey. 3 things that I dislike has to start off with: you do lose cargo capacity, nearly 10 cubic feet of storage, and the battery to this is only 1.1 kilowatt. The second thing that I dislike has to go to the styling. I like the dramatic, dynamic look to the front fascia, don't get me wrong. However, it's really starting to mimic the Mazda CX-5 or 50 because of the way the front grille kind of goes outwards. And I would like it to be a little bit more dynamic than taking a lot of those characteristics. The last thing that I dislike is you have to go to the Touring to get your Bose sound system, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless charging pad, and that's nearly $7,000 difference of MSRP. Going back to Toyota, Volkswagen, Mazda, and Hyundai, the interior of this is going to be the most open unless you go into the new Mazda CX-50. That one also has a wider approach to the interior space. Also, in that one, you'll notice that the armrest is a little bit more up. This one's a little bit more back. You will have more storage cubbies in this compared to all of the models, and you have a little bit less harder materials. All of those materials are going to be on the top, and even so, it's not really like you can make it sound like you're knocking on a door. So I think they did a good job in the sense of cleaning up the interior. It's more grown-up feel, but you have bigger windows, you have your blind spot monitoring, you have more power. You do lose in the towing capabilities, but in the same category, most of the time when you buy these type of vehicles, you're not really looking for towing. We have it in the B-roll with the paddles all the way so we can see the regenerative braking. I'm gonna lower the regenerative braking. So the one pedal isn't really that bad. I mean, I can tolerate it. It's not so aggressive when you let off. You're not going to come to a complete stop. And even lowering it or decreasing the regenerative braking is not too bad at all. If you just leave it obviously without that, I mean, you could go either or. I think for a daily use, I probably would use the B-roll because it's not so bad or so harsh compared to anybody that is hybrid, because typically when I use this system I have to turn it off because I'm just like this every single time. But for the brakes, I mean, you can see, you could stop on a dime, and that was more regenerative braking than the B-roll. But everyday drive, I don't think you can go wrong with either. Obviously, there's a price difference. If you're looking to get the best economics in your MPGs, the hybrid CR-V is the way to go, and it also has the most power. I like to thank Ocean Honda for giving us this 2023 Honda CR-V hybrid for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video and the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise, website, and Instagram, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.